YouTubers, Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. We got some big time breaking whistleblower activity here I need to share with you guys, and it's really big. Okay, it's coming from our friends over at Sputnik, and apparently there's a whistleblower from Sputnik News. Here it is, to your right hand side. Take a look and gander. World economy would collapse if the City of London stopped laundering money, says HSBC whistleblower. Now, guys, remember okay, we'll get into the other article I read recently, but here it is. This was updated on January 16th, and is that today? January 16th? Yeah. It's today. Okay, I got confirmation from someone else. Britain is due to leave the European Union later this month, but there is no sign of banks quitting the City of London. One of the main claims made by remainers of the run-up to the Brexit referendum, but are the wheels of the City of London only kept turning by laundering money. This is a very big deal because you're introducing outside money, monetary, outside currency to an economy, and it's almost like adding more. It's like taking salt water from the ocean and adding it to the lake. The more salt water you add to the fresh water, guess what happens? This fresh water would burn away, die, and the lake floor would die, and that's what's happening. They're introducing more and more money into an economy and impoverishes the locals there, brings up the prices of everything, and the continuation of lowering rates to make things affordable starts to get out of hand, and then they start going into negative territory. The more money you bring in, a majority of the money gets parked in, if you guessed right, if you're guessing, real estate. Nicholas Wilson, a financial services whistleblower who was fired by UK law firm Whitemans after exposing millions of pounds in unfair customer charges, claims the City of London relies on dirty money and says the world economy would collapse if the city stopped laundering it. Now, okay, let's go back to Westpac and other Australian banks and Canadian banks, all this. But Westpac is the worst. They got, I think it was 21 million infractions. 21 million, not $21 million of an infraction. 21 million infractions of money laundering and Mickey Mousing in Westpac. Everybody's stepping down nowadays. Nowadays, hey, I'm stepping down. That means, hey, I'm going to get fired anyway, or I might do prison. So I'll just step down and walk away from this. You know what I'm saying? UK tried to block the EU bid to tighten up money laundering. Mr. Wilson, a former litigation manager, said the EU wanted to tighten up on money laundering and the UK was the only country who voted against it. What? What? He said capitalism relies on a swash of dirty money which is moved around and supports investment around the world. A report last year by the Center of Banking Research at Cass Business School painted a rosy picture of the City of London post-Brexit. The report's co-author, Professor Barbara, wrote, London will continue to be a key player in the global financial services industry and capital markets following Brexit. However, some of its operations, capabilities, and margins will be affected by the long-term political regulatory uncertainty underlying the Brexit process. It comes in stark contrast to dire utterances about the city's future made by then Chancellor George Osborne as a part of Project Fear before the Brexit referendum in 2016. After the referendum, David Cameron resigned and was replaced by another Remainer, Theresa May. And when her efforts to push through Brexit deal failed, she was succeeded by Boris Johnson, who had been an enthusiastic supporter of leaving the European Union all along. Banks will be able to continue providing services during the transportation period, which will begin on the 1st of February, but they are due to lose their passporting rights, which allow them to offer services to customers in the 27 European Union states. So, they're going to lose their passporting rights. And that's a big deal for a bank, especially when you got 27 other member states that you can no longer do business with. One possible solution is that the UK banks might have to set up a subsidiary in the EU member state and apply for a passporting license there. So things are going to get more mucked up, but they need to. And things have to be done. I'm pro-Brexit. I believe that the UK should be its own. Every country should be independent for itself. Every country should have its own currency. Every country should have its own borders. Every country should create their law because, you know, people raise families and expect and have dreams and expect a way of life, right? Mr. Bailey said, the bank has a very important job. As governor, I will continue to work that Mark Henry has done to ensure it has the public interest at heart. Everything it does, it is important to me that the bank continues to work for the public by maintaining monetary and financial stability and ensuring that financial institutions are safe and sound. What is that supposed to mean? Is that supposed to mean if we get caught, who's gonna take the fall? Because, yeah, there's a lot of going on. So Mr. Wilson said that the bank's worst reputation was HSBC, which he said was implicated in 18 of the 25 top corruption scandals listed by watchdog Transparency International last year. Mr. Wilson said the political and financial establishments were closely entwined, and he said have been numerous examples for former MPs, ministers going to work for banks, and former bankers entering politics of influential jobs. So, like, for example, Macron, the president of Prime Minister of France or President of France, he used to be like the top of the banking system. Like, everybody is all back and forth, right? So if anybody wants to make it in life nowadays, you're either a real estate agent, a real estate broker, or a banker or a politician, right? The City of London Corporation declined to comment on the Financial Conduct Authority, which was also approached. It did not provide a comment. Of course, they're not going to provide a comment because you can't slip up. Then Savanio told the audience of the Hey One Way Book Festival, if I asked you what is the most corrupt place on earth, you might tell me, well, it's Afghanistan, maybe Greece, Nigeria, the south of Italy, and I will tell you it's the UK. It's not the bureaucracy, it's not the police, it's not the politics, but what is corrupt is the financial capital. 90% of the owners of capital in London have their headquarters offshore. So they expect others to basically front the bills and the cost of operating, while they basically have their offshore accounts. This all needs to be audited. Audits need to go. You know what I'm saying? In 2017, Mr. Wilson won the battle against HSBC, who were forced to pay back more than £4 million to thousands of customers. Then in 2019, another 18,500 victims were identified by HSBC, has so far agreed to pay out £30 million, and Mr. Wilson believes the total will eventually reach £200 million. So, I mean, now, if you guys think this is bad, it's bad. It's really bad, especially when the guys at the bottom are the ones that are getting their butts kicked. Now, let's move over to this. Well, it's not just London. Look what's happening with Westpac. 21 million broken infractions. 21 million infractions. You know, if you had to count every infraction or print off a sheet, and someone had to sign for the infraction, saying, okay, this is infraction number 1 of 21 million. Please sign at the bottom and read it. Sign, refund customer. Imagine signing 21 bills of infraction, independent infractions. You would have to have a storage room just for paper. Just a huge warehouse just to put all the paper in. That's how bad it is. So now you go over to Canada, and look at this from Better Dwelling. Canada would be in a recession without money laundering. How much? $200 billion. That's what they've got from 2011. That's from 2011 to 2015. $200 billion in Canadian real estate. Same thing in Australia via casinos and via builders and what do you call it? Real estate builders. Builders go out. Oh, we're gonna build this tower. So much cutting corners. Look at the Opal Tower. Absolute nightmare. Why? To save money and rush things. It's happening everywhere. Banks are the doer of all evil. It's the banking cartel, the banking system. And when they run low on money, they just make a few phone calls and they get more money in. And with them printing money 24/7, they still can't get it right. They still have no idea how to set up their monetary system, how to properly deleverage, how to properly re-leverage, how to keep X amount of money in reserves. So this is a really good article here by Sputnik. World economy would collapse if the city of London stopped laundering money. Plain and simple. And remember a while back, I did a video, it was like maybe 2 summers ago, and I said to you guys, do you think our economy or things are running on gumshoeing and ripping people off? You go to the dealer, you get ripped off. You buy a new car, you get ripped off. They throw something on there and they make $2,000. You go get a part changed on your car. They don't change the part. They just claim they changed it and make it seem like they fixed your car. But really it was a loose cable and they took 2 seconds to fix. But I got $2,000 off that guy and we did nothing to his car. I heard that in an office once. In the office where you go drop off your car and keys. The guy was laughing how much you ripped the guy off. It's like, I'm not coming here to fix my car. It's like, what the hell? So we're gumshoeing this economy by ripping people off, plain and simple. Whether it's overcharging you for your natural gas, whether it's overcharging you in your bank fees, whether it's interest, whether it's just a non-stop broken record. Guys, support the channel, buy a t-shirt. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I would like to know. Lots of love. World economy would be in a basic economic death spiral right now if it wasn't for money laundering. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below.